Welcome back to The Takeout. A new report is raising red flags about the threat that authoritarian regimes pose to human rights and democracy around the world. According to the George W. Bush Institute, China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea are undermining global order and free societies. This new report says that group of 4 countries, known by the acronym CRINC, pose a collective threat to the U.S. and to our allies. Here to talk more are the 2 authors of the report, Igor Khrestin and Joseph Kim from the George W. Bush Institute. Welcome to both of you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Igor, I'll start with you. Is it your argument that these 4 countries are acting in concert to some degree? And if so, what are their shared goals?
They are acting in increased alignment. We're calling it malign alignment. This is not an alliance in the traditional sense, alliances that the United States built based on values, but this is an alignment of interest to undermine U.S. global leadership, to hurt us and hurt our allies, and to build a new global order based on authoritarian values and authoritarianism in general.
What do they gain, Joseph, by undermining democracies like the United States and others?
In my opinion, the more America loses its authority around the world, it is in their best interest, right? Because the difference between power and authority, in my opinion, is that power is the ability to force compliance by virtue of having great economic and military powers. But authority, in my opinion, is something so unique that it's something that you have to earn it. And America earned its authority through carrying human rights at home and defending democracies at home and abroad. And I think the more Americans are step away from these founding principles that is good for us and good for the rest of the world, it gives indirectly legitimacy for them to continue being in the power.
Igor, can you give an example of the ways that these countries might be working together to weaken democracy?
Well, absolutely. The first and foremost is Russia's war against Ukraine. This is an authoritarian regime under Vladimir Putin that is attempting to subjugate a free peoples and a democracy. And one of our recommendations is that we help Ukraine with that challenge. The other example you'll see is Xi Jinping recently visited North Korea. Before that, Vladimir Putin visited Xi Jinping. These countries are increasingly working together in places like Russia, building factories using Iranian drone technology, with North Korean workers, Chinese components to use against Ukrainian civilians. So that's one example of these regimes working together. They're working in bilateral ways, they're working in multilateral ways, and collectively, their goal remains to undermine U.S. power.
And so how do the U.S. and other countries collectively push back against that growing influence? Is the answer to create sort of, a NATO-like organization aimed at these 4 countries?
I think NATO-like alliances certainly is welcomed. In my opinion, America can counter this threat by reinvesting in our alliances, in our partnerships, and reinvest and maintain our soft power in coordination with our allies. Because after all, these authoritarian regimes are collaborating amongst each other, and they become greater threat to America by be able to solidifying their power. So I think America and with its allies, we should also find a way to collaborate, increasing our power and authority to counter these threats. And also, Congress and America can also increase its sanctions enforcement, because sanctions without enforceability, has lose its effectiveness. So I would say, reiterate my point, reinvest in our alliance and partnerships. Second, recognize that soft power is amazing thing that we have. We have built this over decades, so it is in our best interest to protecting it. 3 is to improve our sanctions enforcement.
This is something that you both know personally about. Joseph, you escaped North Korea as a young person. Igor, you grew up in Ukraine. So you know what you're talking about when you talk about the influence of these countries.
Absolutely. It's these personal experiences that I think strengthen our belief about U.S. as a global power for good, as a force for good in the world. As President Reagan used to say, the shining city on the hill, that this is the 250th anniversary of America's founding. This is the perfect year to talk about the amazing democratic experiment that we have and a light that we shine on the world. And that's an example that led my family to come here to the United States, for Joseph as well. So this is something that really greatly informs our work and strengthens it.
And it's an ongoing issue. Igor, Khrestin, Joseph, Kim, thank you so much from the George W. Bush Institute for joining us here today.
Thank you for having us.